This is my criminal law final presentation, my PowerPoint. There are civil and criminal proceedings. The civil proceedings are between individuals, organizations, and their monetary damages, or the court can order you to stay away from somebody or some property. In civil proceedings, you have to pay for your own attorney, and it is like family divorce cases and child support. Criminal is the violation of law. People serve jail time as their punishment. They're entitled to an attorney, and it's usually theft crimes, robberies, drug trafficking, or murder. It's more on the serious side. Then there's two types of due process. There's procedural due process, and it's the claim that there is an absence of fair proceeding regulations in the state conduct. It makes sure that people aren't deprived of life, liberty, or their property, and it protects people from the power of the government. There's substantive due process, and it claims that the state conduct is so brutal, demeaning, and harmful as to shock the consensus. It makes sure the state regulates their power of their activities, and it protects the people from policy enhancements. Both of the processes fall under the 14th Amendment. There's English common law, and it is not written, it's just pre-existing, and there's common law and civil jurisprudence, and they both have different parts in shaping our law. All laws come from the English law, common law traditions, and common law sets restrictions on the power of judges in the state. Jurisprudence also compares the laws with literature, field, religion, sciences, and economics. We have our criminal justice system, and there are many laws that go hand in hand with it. There's the constitutional laws, and it says that the first 10 amendments, which are the Bill of Rights, they make sure that we have our freedoms. There is case laws. They make sure that everybody's following the right procedures of federal government and state to have fair trials. There's statute law, which is a definition of written laws, and it's made to make sure that people are following the right laws. There's ex post facto law, and it is a type of criminal law. It's made to punish previous behavior that was not a crime when it was committed. An example would be if somebody is driving on a road that's 60 miles per hour, and a cop checks to see that they're going the speed limit. The next day, they lower the speed limit to 50, and the cop runs into the same person and pulls them over for a crime they committed previously. There is the burden of proof. The burden of proof is when the defendant's guilt is on the prosecution. It has to be known beyond reasonable doubt. It is necessary to have a burden of proof in quote offenses. An example of the burden of proof would be when a person is traveling on an airplane, they have to show a type of identification to prove who they claim to be. There are a lot of legal elements in crimes. No crime can be committed if there is no law regarding the situation that they are in. The government can't punish anybody for what they say or what they are thinking. That falls under the 14th Amendment as well. An example of that would be if Mark and his wife got into a fight, and he goes outside and gets in the car, and she goes outside to stop him from leaving, and he tries to run her over. He's going to get charged with attempted murder, but the prosecution has to prove the elements of the crime, which are criminal intent, criminal act, and that a concurrence has taken place. There are tons of legal defenses. There's an affirmative defense. That is a defense that is going to assume the charges are correct. There is a defense of diminished capability. In some states, the defense is a criminal responsible based on mental or emotional conditions. There's an alibi defense that the defendant claims that they could not physically be in a place at a time, and it is confirmed on another end. There's distress when a defendant claims they were forced by fear, threat, or menace to commit a crime. There's a statute of limitations that can be used as a defense. The government only has a certain amount of time to try a person, so they have to make sure that they're not in any type of violation. And that is it.